Hey, welcome to the VOC Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet a brand new episode of the VOC Podcast. Today, I'll be chatting with professional actor, voice actor Eric Ladin. You might have heard him in Infamous 2, Left 4 Dead 2, and tons of other stuff he's been into. Thank you so much for coming on, Eric, and accepting my invitation.
Yeah, absolutely. And not that your name isn't hard to pronounce, but just so you know, it's pronounced Ladin.
Ladin. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for,
You got it.
Yeah, excellent. So before we actually get into the project questions, I have a question about the hashtag membership first thing that you have going on at the moment. What is that?
Well, I am running for a board position on the SAG-AFTRA LA local board, the member, the union that actors and performers are all members of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and people can vote you.
That's right. Yeah, I hope they do. Members, anybody that's a member of the union, votes for their representatives, just like you would vote in this country. So membership first is a fraction of the union who have similar views. Unfortunately, the union's kind of broken up into two fractions, much like two political parties. And so membership first is one of them. And so I'm running on that slate or ticket, if you will, and trying to get the word out of things that are most important to me.
Yeah, that is important in my opinion. Yeah. So if there are perhaps union actors listening to this, make sure to vote Eric. What is the website?
Well, the website is membershipfirst.com. But anybody who's a member of SAG-AFTRA should have received their ballot in the mail, and their ballots are due August 30th. So they've got, not too much time, about 10 days.
Yeah. Well, that should be enough to, check mark your name.
I would think so. I hope so. Where are you from?
Well, I'm from Slovakia.
Okay.
I think you can hear it on my accent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I would vote you if I was in, SAG-AFTRA. Of course. So,
are you living in the States now, or are you still in Slovakia?
No, I'm not living in the States. I'm still in Slovakia, although I'm trying to, make my accent more kind of American, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if you can hear that or not.
No, you speak beautiful English, and you speak beautiful English, and I hear an accent, but it's
thank
you. Nice. I haven't spent any time. Never been to Slovakia. I've been a little bit further south in Bulgaria. I did a movie down in Bulgaria.
A vacation perhaps, or some work?
No, I shot a movie down there.
Yeah, that's the beauty of acting. I actually am also an actor and voice actor. It's really beautiful.
It is.
Yeah, and that's why we will now get into the project questions. And I'm not sure if this disappoints you or not, but the fans have mostly written down Left 4 Dead 2 questions.
All right, good deal. Left 4 Dead 2 was a lot of fun to work on.
I don't think you got to talk about that too often or too much. About Left 4 Dead.
I have. I've talked about Left 4 Dead 2 for sure. I know that it's got a really, really strong fan base. Valve, who made the game, is obviously very well known in the video game industry and extremely well respected in the video game industry. And so, it was a treat to get to work with them. And I had a great time on that. It was a super fun job to work on.
Yeah, you did an amazing job, really. And we have the first question from Sabatron. If met with the opportunity to officially return as the voice of Ellis, would you?
100%. I would love to go back and do some more Ellis. Really fun character. And the writers of that game really let me play. So I did a lot of improv, and we made things up on the spot. We shot a lot of alts that ended up in the game. So absolutely, that was one of my more fun characters.
It's so fun, so funny because not too long ago, actually, in 2020, there was a community update in Left 4 Dead 2 where some cut lines from your lines and of course other cut lines of the other survivors made it into the game, such as laughing lines and some other extra lines, which is so cool. Good to hear
Yeah,
that.
that's cool. I didn't know that. That's fun. That's fun. Maybe they can pay me more. I'll have to reach out.
Yeah, maybe you should. So, have you ever played Left 4 Dead 2?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I played Left 4 Dead 2, and I hadn't played Left 4 Dead 1. In fact, I had never really played much video games. But when I did get that job, they sent me a game console, and they sent me Left 4 Dead 1. So I got an idea of what it felt like and looked like. And then I played Left 4 Dead 2, and I oftentimes would hop online. And one of the more fun things I would do is hop online and start playing with people, and then start talking as Ellis. And really,
Oh my God, that must be so fun to do,
Yeah, it was good. If I like to play Ellis, and then I could, talk as Ellis. And so nobody, it always took them a while to figure out what was happening.
I believe you. Another question from Harmonica. What is your personal favorite voice line of Ellis, and how did the Keith stories come about? Were there your ideas or Valve's?
No, Valve had the ideas, but we would just, by once I started recording Ellis, after a couple sessions, we started playing with the Keith stories, and I kind of modeled the character a little bit after somebody that I had grown up knowing. There was this ranch hand. I grew up in Texas, and there was a ranch hand that worked at this ranch that we used to go spend time with, me and my father. And he kind of had that sort of texture and tenure to his voice. So I started to kind of model it off of him. And so once I started to kind of build the character and find the character, we would sit around, the writers and I, and we would be in the voiceover booth, and they'd say, well, let's tell a story about Keith. Maybe, they would say, Keith found this, or maybe you and Keith were, doing this. And then I would just kind of take off and go, or they would give me some ideas, or they would write the first part of the story, and then I would just keep going. But after a while, it's, it was certainly the Keith stuff was their idea, but I think that in collaboration, we all started to like build upon this like legend of my best friend Keith.
Yeah, definitely. And what is your favorite voice line of Ellis?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, I liked all those Keith stories. I don't remember specific voice lines. But I did always like Keith's stories, and I always liked the idea that he just would never shut up. He'd be like on the roof, and those guys would be everybody be trying to do what they're doing. And, I ever tell you about the time me and my buddy Keith, and we went, he just, everybody, I just picture everybody going, shut up, man, shut up. I didn't believe Keith exists.
Yeah. Are you actually aware of the other actors that not really, but you work together with them? Not in the booth, of course, but Chad L. Coleman, he was in The Walking Dead coach, and all these other very cool actors like Huck Dillon and Rochelle Aites. Do you know them perhaps?
I don't. Left 4 Dead was a little different in the sense that we never worked together. So we all had individual voice sessions and never worked together.
Oh, wow.
So we never got to meet, never worked off of each other, which was a different experience. Because then when I moved on and I did, I did a game called Infamous. And when I did Infamous 2, we did a lot of motion capture. And so all that motion capture, I was working directly with the other actors. And most of the time when we were in the voiceover booth, we were all in the voiceover booth together so that we could work off of each other.
Yeah. And that is definitely more like real, the
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, that's just not always how it works out. And if you can make it work with everybody's schedule, it's great. It certainly lends itself to, something a little bit closer to reality because you're having a conversation.
Exactly. Next question by Caitlin. Do you relate in any way to the personality of Ellis? If so, in what aspects?
Well, I'm from Texas, and I like to shoot guns. I did. So, I mean, I think there's probably some similarities between me and Ellis. Yeah, we're both thrill seekers, adventure guys. But I don't know much
Yeah.
beyond that.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
in there somewhere. I mean, all actors build characters. They're in there somewhere. So
Yeah.
even if it's in the subconscious, they're in there.
Yeah. How did you actually end up getting the role of Alice? Like, did you like audition?
I did. Yeah, I auditioned for it and got it. Yeah.
It's that simple. Yeah.
It surely sounds simple when I say it like that.
Yeah.
Yes. It was just one audition, and I don't think it actually was I think maybe we had a callback. I can't remember. I feel like maybe there was a callback for that, but I'm not entirely sure. And the callback might have been just them over the phone giving me some reading lines, something like that. But other than that, yeah, that was it.
Mm, I see. Perhaps you getting the role of Alice somehow, what did that do to your career? Did that somehow improve your career of voiceover
I think
acting?
every job in a sense has an effect on your career, whether good or bad. But yeah, that one in particular kind of put me into the video game, into the world of video games. Working with
Yes.
Valve, obviously.
Mm,
I don't know that I would have not gotten Infamous, but certainly having been a lead of a video game was probably a lot more, very helpful, and made it a lot easier for, the people over at Activision to, hand the keys to Infamous to me. So, I think
yeah.
it probably helped in that regard. Obviously, and then just experience,
Yeah.
being.
Yeah. And do you know, you recorded like 1,000 lines for Left 4 Dead 2, which is just so fascinating. Uh, Jesus, that's so many.
You record a lot. You
Yeah.
record a lot. It's it's probably harder though for them to put it in the game than it is for me to record them, but it can be extremely tedious. Extremely tedious.
I definitely believe you. I mean, did you have any complications, with in the booth when recording for Ellis? Anything?
No, I mean, I hadn't done that much voiceover work when I did it. So I learned quickly that, we would save the screaming or yelling or shouting towards the back end of the session, just so that I didn't burn my voice out. And we tried to keep it to 4-hour sessions so that I didn't burn my voice out. And I think really stamina in terms of voiceover is probably the most important thing you can learn.
Definitely. Actually, I had the two of the Left 4 Dead 1 actors on, and they actually said the screaming parts, Valve wanted to do the screaming at the beginning, actually. And they also said that it wasn't really a good idea because then they would lose their voice and couldn't use the character voice. So,
Right.
so I guess Valve kind of learned from that and decided to use the same way in Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah, perhaps, but yeah, certainly most voiceovers that you go work on. I mean, I as an actor will always say that I want to hold off on all that stuff till the end, but most booth operators and directors, they know that that's probably the smartest.
Yeah, I agree. So let's see. We have a question from Jonathan. How did you manage to express Ellis's pain when he gets attacked or attacked when incapacitated so realistically?
Well, I mean, I appreciate that it sounded realistic. You kind of look nuts when you're in a voiceover booth. You're moving all around, you're doing things. Sometimes I'll grab, I'll pinch my side, or I'll pinch my abdomen really hard, to try to like feel a little bit of pain.
Yeah.
Because I think it becomes a lot more realistic when you actually are in pain. So, I find that if you can be free enough and feel safe enough to make that booth kind of a safe space for you, then, you know, you have the luxury of being able to do whatever you want in that booth. It's not on camera. So if it means, you know, jumping up and down, running, you know, if I ever do a scene where I'm running, chances are I was running in place, or I just done, you know, 15, 20 push-ups to be out of breath when I started talking. So, you know, just little tricks and stuff like that you want to do to try to make sure that, you know, when it comes across in the VO, it's realistic.
Definitely. I'm not sure if you were aware of this, but you know, in Left 4 Dead 2, if you still have the game, actually Left 4 Dead 1, the characters and the maps are supposed to be also a part of that. So you can play Left 4 Dead 1 and Left 4 Dead 2 now.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah. I guess you know, haven't booted up Left 4 Dead 2 in a while.
I have not. I to be honest, I don't play that many video games. I've enjoyed playing video games, but I just don't have the time. So I haven't, you know, especially with 2 kids and a wife and work and everything else, it's, the time starts to get thinner and thinner.
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah. Have you heard about Back 4 Blood?
I have not.
Okay, well, now that's a game developed by another corporation or if a video game company that's something like Left 4 Dead 3, but not really. And it doesn't have Ellis, but Brian is just asking your thoughts about it. Well, here we go, Brian. Okay, next question.
Yeah, sorry, I can't give you thoughts on it. But if it's not Valve and it's not Left 4 Dead 3, then Ellis, I don't want to be a part of it.
Okay, we have a question from Brownies Are Brown. How was your first day voice acting as Ellis?
Probably scary. You know, I don't know that I remember it all that well. But you know, it was one of my first big voiceover jobs. So I'm sure there were some nerves. But again, like, you know, one of the things I always love about acting is that you're kind of, you know, you're hiding behind a character, so to speak. So as vulnerable as you feel, you know, you are, once you find that character, then it's kind of off to the races. But at the beginning, it can be challenging because you're kind of still trying to find it. In fact, I think a lot of times what I found, and I don't remember if this was the case with Ellis or not, but if I remember correctly, I think it might have been that we might have done the first session and we didn't really find him until a couple hours into that session. So when I came for my next session, we ended up redoing a lot of the stuff from the first 2 hours of that first session, just because it wasn't going to match and I hadn't really found the quality of the voice and what we wanted to do. So
I see. Actually, can you tell us about the accent that you use for Ellis?
Yes, Texas.
Full on Texas?
Yeah, Texas. I mean, you know, like I said, I modeled after this guy who's a ranch hand in West Texas, at a ranch we went to. And he was born and bred there in this small town. So, and if I remember correctly, Ellis had he had a little bit of a pitch to his voice.
Yeah. He had. Yeah. Okay, we have a line request over here. Can you say Ellis Gaming?
Ellis Gaming?
Yeah, as Ellis.
Yeah, no. I wasn't sure if I heard you correctly. Ellis Gaming. Well, do you have Ellis handy for me? Like, can you play something?
Oh yeah, I definitely can. Just give me 1 second.
All right.
And I love malls. I do. Once I was in this mall up in Atlanta, and these guys were dancing for like money and stuff. And my friend Dave and I was all like,
Ellis, sweetie, can this wait?
Jimmy Gibbs Jr. is amazing.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Jimmy Gibbs Jr. is the best. Yeah, I remember that. Man, there was one time, me and my friend Keith. All right, what did she want me to say? Ellis Gaming.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, it's amazing how, you know, the Ellis voice returns and you can act as him again. Isn't that?
Yeah. I just have to hear it. It's been so long. I have to kind of listen to it.
Yeah, you haven't done it.
But once I do, I can kind of remember. Man, there was this one time my friend Keith and I, we went to 7-Eleven, filled up our socks with snow cones, Do you know the socks? Yeah, yeah. Now I remember.
Yeah. So we have a question over here. How many of Ellis's lines were improv? Okay, a lot. Okay.
A lot.
Yeah, you said
Yeah.
that already. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
Let's see, what else do we have here? Do you have a favorite weapon in Left 4 Dead 2?
Wasn't there a what was the isn't there like a special like hatchet thing? Like I
Yeah,
can't remember.
I think the axe.
The axe, but didn't it looked different than a normal axe? But I feel like I could be crazy, but for some reason I feel like it almost looked like a like like what the crypt would carry. Like it's tall, it's got the arched blade. I don't know, but yeah, the axe. Ellis always carried the axe. He was always talking about the axe, wasn't he?
Yeah, I'm definitely sure he was.
Yeah.
Can you remember your favorite Keith story?
No, there's so many of them. There's so many of them. I've heard on YouTube, somebody sent me before a YouTube compilation of all the Keith stories. It's like 15 minutes long.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and they're great. They're
yeah.
really funny. It's funny too, because I don't really remember them, even though I made them up, or a lot of them I made up. We would just keep, like I said, we would just talk. They would kind of give me a couple lines or a little bit, and then I would just go off. But the thing about it is, like, when you're in character like that and you're living in that character's head, it comes more freely, so like I haven't thought about or been in that character's head for quite some time.
Yeah.
Whereas when I'm in that character's head, it's a lot easier to improv because I'm thinking like Ellis, and I'm, talking like Ellis, and I'm, rationalizing like Ellis, responding like Ellis. So it's, it comes a lot more naturally.
Yeah, I agree with you. Next question from 1-7. Would Ellis and Zoey make a badass zombie slaying couple? Do you remember Zoey from Left 4 Dead?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course we would.
Yeah, you were talking about her a lot.
Yeah, he liked her.
Yeah.
He's always trying to hit on her.
Exactly. But never could kind of
No,
get to
never
it.
Never did get it. Never did seal the deal.
Yeah. Okay. How's Keith doing?
Oh man, Keith's good. Keith's good. He's still running around like a crazy man. I imagine Keith's still doing stupid shit.
I think he would be doing, yes, with Ellis.
Yeah, with Ellis. They seem like the type of people that would get nominated for like a Darwin Award.
Yeah. What is your favorite character and special infected from Left 4 Dead 2? Not Ellis. A character that's not Ellis.
Zoey.
Yeah,
right? I mean, that's an easy answer.
Yeah, that's an easy answer. And can you remember the special infected types? Boomer, smoker.
I remember Boomer. We always talked about Boomer. Yeah.
Yeah.
We hate Boomer, right?
Yeah, the Boomer, that fat guy.
Yeah, the fat guy, the huge guy.
Yeah. A question from Sparta's Best. What's your opinion on Left 4 Dead 2 after a decade from its release?
I still think it's a great, again, like you're asking somebody that's far less experienced in video games than you and your audience, I'm guessing. So you guys are well more versed and probably the right people to ask. I loved Left 4 Dead 2. I would love to do Left 4 Dead 3. I think it'd be fun now with all the new technology out there and to go in and do it again. But yeah, I love it. It's fun. It's definitely holds a spot in my heart. I'm fond of it for sure.
Yeah, I agree. New question from me to be on man too. Ellis is my son's favorite character. He thinks he's utterly hilarious and constantly quotes the Keith stories. Haha. I just want to hear a new Keith story.
All right, I'll think of a new Keith story before we finish today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What else do we have here? Most of these are if you would return for Left 4 Dead 3.
For sure I would.
Has anyone ever recognized your voice as Ellis while out?
Yes. Yes, they have.
Yeah, that
But more often than not, they'll recognize me as an actor and then say, wait a minute, you were in Left 4 Dead, and then I'll, do the Ellis voice.
Yeah, for some reason, there are so many line requests over here. One from Optimerist, just a car? Just a car? I think he was talking about the Gibbs Junior Car.
Oh, just a car? Just a car?
Exactly. Okay, this is a pretty cool question. Why did you become a voice actor and how did you come across Valve?
Well, Valve, I didn't, Valve found me, I guess. At that time I was auditioning for everything and anything under the sun. And that was one of the auditions that I had. And so, I met them when they gave me the job. So I didn't really, like I said, I didn't really know Valve because I wasn't that in touch with the video game world or the video game industry.
Yeah.
And in terms of doing VO work and being a VO actor, I started I actually started probably just a little bit before I got Left 4 Dead, but I always enjoyed doing voices. I enjoyed doing characters, and it's a very different medium than working on camera, but at the same time, it does allow you to kind of go escape and play and maybe go a little bit bigger or broader than you normally would on camera. So, I've really enjoyed it. I love playing a superhero in Infamous, and I've played, cartoon characters and Scooby-Doo and, kid shows like Fish Books and, so getting to do like all those kind of things that I normally wouldn't get to do on camera is pretty fun.
Yeah, I believe you definitely. Actually, we have another question over here from Wendy. Are there any full stories about Keith, like before Ellis gets cut off by another survivor, or were they just written all interrupted like that from the get-go?
We would do like long ones, and then I think in editing they would take them in and out. But we also thought it would be very funny if like he was always getting interrupted.
Yeah, that definitely was funny. And I'm not sure if you know Nick, the character.
Nick,
yeah. Hug Dylan. Not sure.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's only 4 of us.
Yeah, and Nick kind of hated you, and you were
right,
but you always looked up to him as a good friend, and he was talking shit about
Nick,
you.
It was Nick. Wasn't it Nick, Coach, Zoe, and me?
Nick, Coach, Rochelle, and you. Zoe was from the other team.
Zoe was from you, right. That's right.
Yeah. We have a question from Rapid Scout. Are you still into voice acting?
Yes.
That's good to hear.
Man, I audition often and working on, at the moment, not working on anything, but just finished a project. So
that you can't talk about because NDAs exist. Okay.
That's right. That's exactly right. You know that.
Yeah. Next question from Thomas. Favorite color? Do you have a favorite color?
Do I have a favorite color?
Yeah. Do you?
I like blue. Blue makes my eyes more blue, so I like blue.
Blue is cool, and your eyes are also cool. Next.
Yeah. Thank
What else do we have here? You haven't kept in touch with Left 4 Dead actors. You never met them. Next. What kind of truck do you think Ellis drove, and why was it only 99% zombie proof?
He probably drove like a, let's see, it was 10, the game was 10 years old, right? So the game came out in like 2011.
2009, actually.
2009. All right. So let's say he probably drove like a 1997 F-150 that he souped up and made 99% zombie proof.
Yeah.
And why was it only 99% zombie proof? Well, because he has bullet holes in the back end, and there's one little spot that zombies can get into.
Yeah, I mean, Ellis is a good mechanic, huh?
He is a good mechanic.
Definitely is. He definitely is. How is your day going?
My day's going really well. Thanks.
That was a question by Nas.
What's up?
A question from external audience 85. Was Left 4 Dead 3 ever in works?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Not that I know
So
of.
we heard it was actually some maps were made, sketches, but we heard it was canceled last minute before they would have gotten into the vocal talent.
Yeah, I know that when we did Left 4 Dead 2, there was, they had said, man, we would love to do another one, but that's as far as I heard.
I see. Okay, we have something over here from Agent Suffer. How do you feel that your voice is an iconic character from a zombie game? Because I would be like, what's your favorite zombie game? I'd be like Left 4 Dead 2. So how do you feel about, your voice, your voice in Ellis? And he is a pretty big character.
I feel honored. Listen, I mean, anything that is is admired by fans and has a fan base as big as Left 4 Dead 2, I'm honored to be a part of. And I'm proud that I was able to bring Ellis to life in the way that I was.
Yeah. It's funny because the Left 4 Dead 2 actors are much harder to get in touch with, which I noticed that. And I would say they are more famous, of course, you have a lot of attention and you still do a lot of acting work and all that. And it's pretty nice to hear,
That's good. That's the goal. That's what we're all
Yeah.
trying to do. So that's good to hear. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a question from Jay is cool. Do you like Reese's?
Do I Reese's? Oh yeah. I mean, but I don't like Reese's Pieces. I like Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah, that's lovely. And why does everybody want you to say Ellis Gaming? Could you say Ellis Gaming again?
Yeah, sure. Ellis Gaming.
What else do we have here? Did you have like any voice line that you had problems with to do, or to perhaps get the right tone? Or
Not that I remember. No. Like I said, it just took us a couple hours to find him, but once we did, we were good.
yeah, did you went back actually to Valve to record more lines after 2009?
We might have had one more late session to just fill in some blanks. We might have had one more. I can't remember, but usually after the game almost totally done, we go back one more time just for an hour and pick up a couple little things they need.
Yeah, actually, you had this the passing session where you met Zoey. Now that was, I think, a later session. At least I don't know how Valve has written the downloadable content, because that was so I don't know when was that, but yeah, I think you did that a bit later on.
That sounds right.
Yeah. What else do we have here? Could you give a shout out to my friend Sav? Ellis is her favorite character and loves him so much. Understandable if you can't. By Spookbra.
Yeah. Hey, Sav. Sending you lots of love. Shout out from your boy Ellis.
Cool. What else do we have here? I don't think you have any know-abouts about if what was cut from your voice lines. So
no, I don't. I don't. That wouldn't be something I'm privy to.
Yeah, because we have some questions over here about that. Oh, see, a question by Secrets Revealed. He voiced Cole in Infamous 2. I was wondering how much of a difference it was voicing Ellis and Cole.
Oh, they're two totally different people. Ellis is real. He's out there and he's always talking and he's got an opinion on everything. And Cole is a lot more quiet and measured, a guy that didn't necessarily want to be in the position he's in, but was, given these powers and now feels like it's on him to, save the world.
Yeah, I actually haven't played Infamous 2, so I don't know much about Cole's character. Luckily, our seems like our viewers do, which is good.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a very cool story.
yeah, I think I'm gonna check that out after this interview. Just to hear you again, because it's
Yeah,
good.
for sure. You should check it out.
You're doing a great job in voiceover and acting, so I definitely
Oh,
will.
thanks very much.
Um, we have a question here from some average Joe. Did you ever record a line that made you laugh out loud? Laugh at it too.
Oh, for sure. For sure. We would oftentimes end Keith's stories just laughing. I would go as far as I could until I started laughing. And, I often, would look in the booth and I could see them behind the glass laughing, which would make me laugh. So, oh, for sure.
I'm actually wondering because I'm not sure if you know, but in the game you can do in the game, you can play with the taunts you have, and you can laugh out whenever you want to. And I wonder if those laughs were like for like Left 4 Dead 2, or you just laughed at something, or how was it?
I'm sure they're recording that stuff. So, if we were in the middle of a Keith story and all of a sudden I started laughing, I'm sure they were recording that, and then they can grab that and they can put it, they can then go put it in the game wherever they want.
Yeah, so you didn't do like specific sessions for like laughing out.
I'm sure we did. I'm sure we did some laugh options.
Okay,
belly
that makes
laughs,
sense.
like, versus like just chuckles, pretty funny, or whoa, you gotta be kidding me, man. All
Yeah.
different types of things they could then turn around and put in the game.
Yeah, that makes sense now. Yeah. We have a question over here from Weaponized Retriever. Ask him to say the story about the car. I don't think you remember the car story.
Is that Jimmy Gibbs Jr.?
Yeah, the Jimmy Gibbs Jr. Yeah.
Jimmy Gibbs Jr. is a man. I mean, I don't know anybody like that, man. There was this guy I knew. He was racing dirt track, not stock cars, but like open wheel cars, and he was racing them once, man. And then a goat. I'm just telling you, there was a goat, man.
Oh my God, you're hilarious.
I would tell you about the time me and Keith, man, we made bumper cars. We did them out of riding mowers in his backyard. Man, we had a mower blade. It wound up 90% all over her body, man. I didn't run over the guy either. He just somehow managed to fall out on his own.
Are you reading that right now?
Yeah, I just found some for you.
Yeah, that's cool. We have a question from Egwarto. Do you like horses? I think Ellis refers to horses in the game, so I think.
Yeah, I just went horseback riding about a month ago. I do. I love horses.
Yeah, so good to hear. If a live action movie was being made, would you be willing to play Ellis?
Oh, for sure.
If they ask you,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, of course.
We have a sentence over here from some wishes from Cowboy Eyes. Just tell him he was great in this and Bosch.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, I love working on Bosch.
Yeah, amazing. A question from Happy Entertainment 5. Jimmy Gibbs Junior stock car? This is my question. Okay, let's talk about the Jimmy Gibbs Junior stock car. What else do we have here? So many improv lines and everything that they're asking if you had any.
I could probably read some of these if y'all think it'd be fun.
Yeah, sure. But before we do that, there's a question. Do you like cheeseburgers?
I love cheeseburgers. Cheeseburgers are my favorite food.
I wonder if Ellis could say, I love cheeseburgers.
Oh, man, I love cheeseburgers, but I don't like just regular cheeseburgers, man. I mean, you got to put stuff on the cheeseburger. You know what I'm saying? You got to put bacon on that thing. You got to put a little cheese on that thing. You better not get near me with mayonnaise. I'm scared of mayonnaise. I ever tell you about the time me and Keith, we blew up a can of mayonnaise, made me vomit. That made him vomit. Since then, I've never eaten mayonnaise. So no mayonnaise on my burger. You got that?
Excellent. Thoden wants you to say hogwash.
Hogwash.
Have you met Mr. Newell by Russian Hat 12?
No.
Gabe Newell. He is the kind of creator of Valve. Okay.
No. What's his name? Gabe?
Gabe Newell, yeah.
Yes, I have met him. Yes. Yes.
I wonder, like, from what I heard, most of the actors met him, but what do you discuss with Gabe? Like, he's a producer and the creator of Valve.
Yeah, I mean, I just remember I met him at E3 in Los Angeles when the game came out, and we got to catch up. So,
I see. A question from Necromancer. Say something Ellis would say right now.
Say something Ellis would say right now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he'd probably talk about his friend Keith, right?
Well, yeah.
All right. Ever tell you about the time my friend Keith and we made sushi? About that?
Yeah, I don't think you have. Yeah, but what kind of sushi?
Man, let's see. I'll find one for you.
No, I mean, sure. Until I still have to catch up with the questions over here.
I ever tell you about the time my buddy Keith made sushi? Yeah, his mom took him to a sushi place for his birthday. He didn't want to go, but it turned out he loved it, man. But it's like $10 a sushi, man. And one of them places. So Keith figures, hey, how hard can it be to roll up some raw food and seaweed? Am I right? As it turns out, it's hard, man. Now, they say experience is the best teacher. And experience taught Keith, if you ever eat 3 pounds of raw chicken, it kills you. Now, luckily, Keith's brain went into self-defense mode, started shutting down organs like head off a chicken. And cut him off at the pass. And the doctors were able to get him out before his heart stopped. But to this day, Keith has no sensation in his right foot. He doesn't even recognize his brother Paul no more.
Oh my God, that was so long. I don't think I ever heard this.
That's probably one we never did.
Yeah. Macana Ever Now asks, can you say Kitty Land?
Kitty Land?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kitty Land. Oh, look, Kitty Land.
Oh my God, this is so hilarious. What else do we have here? Have you ever met the face model of Ellis?
No.
Okay, I see. A question from RB. Tell him to do the adrenaline voice line. Do you remember the adrenaline voice line? The or whatever.
No, I don't remember it.
Where you just feel good from putting an adrenaline shot to yourself.
Oh, I don't remember that line.
Okay. If we don't have anything else over here, then I could probably play that for you. Okay. Do you do Comicons, or did you used to do Comicons?
Yeah, I've done. I haven't been in a couple of years. Obviously, it didn't happen last year. And the year before, I was shooting something in Orlando, so it's been a minute.
Okay, I see. I think I found the adrenaline line. This is it. This is just so hilarious. And is that it? We don't have any more questions? Impossible. I was sure we had.
Yeah, a lot of them.
We had a lot of them, and you answered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully I was able to answer them.
I'm sure we can find something for the next 10 minutes that we still have left over here or so. What else do we have here? Everybody wants line readings, but no one says the line, which is just sad. How are you doing?
How am I doing? I'm doing great. Doing great.
Yeah, actually, could you tell me a bit about your podcast, the Offscript Podcast?
Offscript Podcast is a podcast that I do with my buddy Lance Zerline, who's a sports radio host in Houston. And we both have a fond love of sports, specifically Houston sports, as well as TV and film and I don't know, anything interesting. So we just decided to get on and start talking to each other. And, as name mentions, it goes off script in a hurry. And so we've had fun. It's been a good time.
Good to hear. By the way, you were cutting off a lot, and I don't know what happened over there. I hope people.
Sorry.
Yeah, I hope people can make out what you were saying. Yeah, the Offscript podcast. You guys should listen to it. Do you still do the episodes?
Yes, we took a break because of both of our jobs, but we're about to start recording season 2 very soon.
Well, that sounds amazing. I had a question over here. You get recognized for your voice, yeah. Everybody wants Ellis stories. Oh yeah, here is the question. Can you ask him if any of his friends are named Keith?
No, I don't have any friends named Keith. I wish I did.
Yeah.
But everybody always wants Keith stories.
Yeah, everybody loves the Keith stories.
All right, well, you want me to read you a couple more before I get out of here?
Sure.
All right, I'll read you a couple more and then I'll jet because they're pretty fun. All right, tell me which one you want.
Well,
man, I ever tell you about the time my buddy Keith fell out a roller coaster? Yeah, he didn't drop far, mind you, just onto the tracks. But the carnival people, man, they wouldn't stop the ride because all the other people paid good money. And Keith, he snuck on for free. So he just had to dodge it like 20 minutes or so.
That sounds about right. And is there anything Ellis has to say about the VOC podcast?
Man, I ever tell you about my friend Ronald? He had this podcast. He called it the VOC Podcast. I don't know. Maybe he had to pay for each letter and he didn't want to say vocal. So he just said VOC. And then he put one of those weird line things over the O. I think you call it an umlaut or like a dash lot or like a accent or something. Anyway, it looks like VOC, but you say it like VOC. And Ronald's the man. I ever tell you about my friend Ronald? He does some crazy shit.
Okay, that was just so amazing that I'm kind of dying over here. So yeah, guys, please check out Eric Ladin on Instagram at Eric Ladin, correct?
That's it.
And do you have perhaps any other social medias where they can follow you?
No, just Instagram.
Do you plan to? I think you used to have a Twitter.
I did have a Twitter, but now it's just Instagram.
It's all good. It's actually good if everything's at one place, huh?
That's right. Yeah, it was just an unnecessary evil in my life. So just Instagram for me.